Catholic Youth Ministers, welcome. It is so great to have you here. Thank you for all your good work for the church and for the young people. My name, Joe Rouchet, and I want to welcome you to Catholic Youth Ministry Matters. Thanks again for tuning in. We are continuing the series, The Four Foundations of the Catholic Youth Minister. We've wrapped up the spiritual foundation, the intercessory foundation, the kitchen cabinet, and today we launched foundation number 4, Best Practices of the Pros. I want to address in this video what I feel is the number one reason so many talented and gifted youth ministers are casualties. So if you're ready, let's go. What is one of our biggest challenges that takes out so many Catholic youth ministers? Our work schedule. The amount of time that we're in the office, out of the office, one-on-one meetings, parish events that are required, staff meetings, lots of nights, lots of weekends, lots of one-offs, lots of big trips, lots of planning for events. All this adds up. So I want to give you some tips from the pros to help you with your monthly, weekly, and daily scheduling. And I hope you find it helpful. For purposes of this video, I'll presume you've got your annual ministry calendar finalized. This annual ministry calendar is what drives your work schedule by the day, the week, and the month. And it includes everything you can possibly think of in 3 areas. One, of course, your primary area of youth ministry and or faith formation. Some of you have both. So in that area, you want to get on your calendar every event, every training, every parent night, every retreat, every service project, anything and everything that you possibly can in that area. Secondly, there's going to be parish staff meetings and parish events that you'll probably be asked or required to be a part of. You want to get those on there. And then thirdly, all the holy days, holidays, and your vacation time. That is so important. I like using Google Calendar, of course. It's very easy and electronic, and I can carry it on my phone, as you probably already do. But what I also like is being able to look in one place at one sheet that's got all 12 months, and using the handy-dandy markers. I will use color-coded markers, for example, for all my middle school events, all my high school events, all my confirmation events, and others for other programs that I'm responsible for. With this tool in place, we're ready to go with looking at our monthly work schedule. Once you've got your annual ministry calendar finalized, look to see if there's any long streaks of work days that are unavoidable, especially if they get to the 6 or 7 day in a row program. Those can be very challenging, very difficult, and it's nice to know in advance if those are coming. If you do have one of those long streaks, do a couple of things. One, see if you can work shorter days. Maybe you don't have to be there the entire work day. Secondly, though, if it is totally unavoidable, check with your pastor or your supervisor or both and ask them if there's any chance that you could get some compensation time, some comp time for that extra workload that you happen to carry over that week. Secondly, on weekends, you may have weekend events, but make sure every week you do have a weekend. Maybe it is Saturday or Sunday, but if you don't have that option, get your weekend during the week. Maybe it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday, Friday. Some combination of back-to-back days is actually ideal. And then lastly, once you look at your month, make sure you've got 8 days off. There you go for monthly tips. Here are some tips for your weekly work schedule. So important, take 2 days off per week, and ideally they would be back-to-back. 2 days back-to-back, uninterrupted. Ministry happens though, doesn't it? So sometimes we have to break those 2 days off, but as much as you can, keep them together. Nights per week, I would say no more than 2 nights a week, maybe 3. And if you're married, definitely no more than 3, because your primary vocation is your marriage. You want to keep that marriage protected, and ministry comes in second. That's it for weekly tips. Some tips for your daily work schedule. Assuming a 40-hour work week, we're looking at 8-hour days, pretty much. And of course, there are some long days, and of course, there's some long weeks for sure. So you can do 2 things about those. One, offer some of that time, maybe all of that time, up as a tithe from time to time. I would do that. I'd typically be a little more generous with the tithe than normal. But secondly, talk to your pastor, your supervisor about the policy on compensation time for those periods where you're putting in just a load of work. And hopefully they could give you some days, partial days off to compensate for that. Every day, what you want to do is break your day into 3 blocks: morning block, afternoon block, and evening block, and only work 2 of those blocks. And of course, weekends count as part of your work week. And then lastly, just a quick word about vacations and holidays. Take those. You need to take those so that you are fresh and vibrant and feel rested. Don't feel this pressure to fill every open spot in the calendar with something for the kids, because the families need time together. The students and the parents and the families need time together, and you need that also. You may need that more than them. So these are my tips for your daily work schedule. Well, that wraps up this episode. Thank you so much for joining me, and I sure hope it was helpful. If you could do 3 quick things for me, I would be so grateful. 1, could you hit the like button down below? 2, could you hit that red subscribe button and the bell icon next to it so that you're the first to know when I release a new video? Thirdly, if you could share this video with anybody you think may find it helpful. Maybe there's another youth minister, a faith formation leader, a catechist, your core team member, anybody at all. That's what these videos are for. Lastly, I would love to come to your parish. Check out my website for details. All for now. Until next time, keep your eyes fixed, because you matter and Catholic Youth Ministry matters. See you next time.